Welcome to The Goods from the Woods, episode number 72. We're calling this one The Magic City's Finest. What you're about to hear is 3 conversations that we had over the past few weeks, spanning all across the country. First conversation you're going to hear is at Disgraceland with Pat and Goodnight and our good friend from Birmingham, Mr. Wes Van Horn. The second conversation you're going to hear was recorded on location high above Birmingham in Palais du McCall with Goodnight, Nick Thomas on Plug 2, and our good friend, the dirtiest player in the game, Michael McCall. And our third conversation was recorded backstage at our Yellahammered extravaganza at the Workplay Theater in downtown Birmingham with our friend, musician, author, and just all-around solid dude, Jonny Moze, with Goodnight and neighbor Frank on Plug 2. Episode 72, The Magic City's Finest, starts right now.
Now fix to start kicking ass, just like it said at the beginning of the program.
Man of the hour, tower of power, too sweet to be sour.
Sending your ass on the jabroni jet to the other side of the territory, brother.
The Alabama Hammer.
Nightmares on the best part of my day.
The Goods from the Woods.
Hot damn!
Welcome to The Goods from the Woods. My name is Rivers Langley.
Temporarily, Pat Riley.
This is a good night, man of the hour, tower of power, too sweet to be sour, body made of twisted steel, supersonic sex appeal.
And our very special guest today, my dear friend from Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh, do I just say my name?
Uh-huh.
I think this is how we did it the first time I was on.
It is.
Wes Van Horn.
All right.
Hi.
Except this time we won't talk about Dunstan checks in.
Or Superman.
Oh, don't be too short.
Yeah.
Dustin checks in never gets old.
The night is young.
Don't write no checks. You can't cash.
Especially if that check is a monkey checking in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've already begun.
It's already started.
I watched 20 minutes before I realized it wasn't another Planet of the Apes movie.
That was the original prequel to Planet of the Apes. That's
Wait, where the fuck is Charlton Heston? I guess they didn't come back again.
in the original storyline. That is how the apes start. You know, the monkey bites somebody at a fancy hotel. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's the beginning of that's the rise, the dawn. Of
I didn't know
Planet of
that.
the Apes. So, who did you just see at Trader Joe's, Pat?
Oh, so when you live in Los Angeles, you get people to ask you all the time, do you see a lot of celebrities?
Yeah.
And usually I say no because I'm very bad at that sort of thing, nor do I want to have a conversation about walking by some celebrity randomly on the street or something like that.
I was just saying no, but people see me.
Yeah. But today I felt a little starstruck. I saw Danzig
Fuck yeah.
at Trader Joe's.
Hell yeah.
Glenn.
Danzig at Trader
Is he buying some
Joe's.
cookie butter?
No.
Blood oranges.
So, I don't know what Danzig was in the market to buy because his hand basket was empty.
He had a basket.
Yeah, he had a hand basket.
He's not a man for a cart.
Oh, no, and his lifts were so huge. He had the biggest lifts I've ever seen. And at first I wasn't sure if it was Danzig or not because he didn't have the belt buckle. Like, he didn't have the Danzig, like,
The logo.
horned skull.
Was it broadcast into the universe that he was Danzig?
Oh,
Well, the lift should have been the dead giveaway.
yeah. And I mean, it was one of those things where you see somebody that looks like someone famous and you're just like, maybe that's some other person that's modeled their lives after this person. Because that happens from time to time, especially in Los Angeles. But no, this was Danzig. He had an empty handbasket and he was visibly frustrated that the samples weren't ready yet. Like, he was standing right around that samples area, and he was mad because they were making some sort of weird, like, enchilada with green salsa sort of thing.
Yeah.
And he was, like, fuming. There was, like, smoke coming out of his ears, like a Yosemite Sam sort
he
of
gets
thing.
cranky when he gets hungry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no. Definitely.
That's one thing you got to know about Danzig.
Yeah. He's not himself when he's hungry.
Exactly.
It's great how the mighty have fallen that he has to wait in line now like that.
I know.
And Pat, let's not forget the most important thing about this. Where was this Whole Foods now?
It was a Trader Joe's.
Yeah,
'cause
same thing.
I'm
Where
not
was it?
slipping and walking into a Whole Foods.
The one on Hyperion?
No,
No.
man.
Danzig wouldn't be caught dead in a Whole Foods.
No, this is the one on National and Westwood.
West Side.
Yeah.
Right now where Mr. Goodnight lives,
Yeah.
because it's really become fashionable now.
Yeah. So so what?
Sepulveda, right?
Yeah.
The thing that
Sepulveda.
the thing
longest boulevard in the city and county of Los Angeles, you understand?
the best part was that since he was deterred from getting his samples in a convenient fashion, he decided to buy some frozen delectable desserts like they have at Trader Joe's. But he was.
How long did you follow him around?
No, I was looking for stuff. I was looking for stuff. So I was like circle. So I could see time pass, but I couldn't see what he was.
You wouldn't believe what he said to the auto mechanic.
Yeah. He was getting his hearse worked on at Jiffy Lube. Jesus, his PIN number is blah, blah. But no, he was buying the frozen desserts, but he was like very carefully reading the nutrition guides on the sides of them.
Yeah.
Like he was studying those things like they were the friggin' Talmud. Like he was just like really trying to make sure that he was getting something both delectable and nutritious.
That's crazy because I bet those enchiladas didn't have the nutritional facts on those samples.
But they were tiny,
Right. I guess
yeah, so they
samples.
don't count as like calories, I don't think, because
it's cheat day.
Yeah.
Danzig's cheat day.
Right.
Just go to the other Trader Joe's far away from your house so no one can spot you.
The one Jerry only works at.
Yeah.
That's why Danzig doesn't go to the other one. 'Cause
Yeah, right.
other members of the Misfits are stocking the shelves and shit there at night.
Doyle's the manager. You ring the bell and Doyle just stomps out and does price check,
That's always, I do a tour guide here in LA, and that's the most common question I get is like, oh, who are all the famous people you've run into? And my list sucks as of right now. I mean, aside from comedians, which I always forget that I'm like, oh yeah, I have seen like Dave Chappelle and
Well, to be fair though, certain things I don't count. It's not like, hey, I saw Mick Jagger once. Where I went to see the Rolling Stones.
Right.
If you're at the comedy store or something, and you see Dave Chappelle. I don't think that counts in the same way.
I mean, yeah. Well, no, it was at West Side, and I said hey to him.
But still, you were in a comedy context.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well,
So
that's
kinda
we're talking about the Prince of Darkness.
Kevin
buying
Sullivan?
chocolate-covered banana nuggets at TJ's.
Yeah. I guess the other one, my other good one, is in a work situation too, so it barely counts. But I worked at the grilled cheese store for a while, and this is the way celebrities make money is in some ways like if your star has fallen and you're not getting hired as much as you would like, people will pay you just to show up and just appearances. Yeah. And so I was basically we were doing our grand opening. There was lots and lots of people there. Katy Perry had come in earlier in the day.
Yeah.
And I was at first when I got there, they were like, yeah, we got too many people working, so just put on normal clothes and walk around like you're at this party. And I was like, oh, okay. And they were like, oh, just kind of
party.
It was
So
a
you were
grand
an
opening.
opening.
It was a grand opening party, so they just like had me walk around, and they were like, and just like say good stuff about the product to people, to randomly. So I was doing the thing.
Have you tried these grilled cheese?
Literally, yeah, that's what they wanted
Have you
me
tried
to
a
do.
milkshake, Katie?
Yeah, that's what they
It's
want.
almost as good as your hot and cold fudge sundae at Denny's.
From Denny's, yeah. But that's what they wanted me to do. And then after a while, they were like, all right, we need you to, there's too many people here, so we need you to tell people to get away from the back door, like to clear the path so there can be a fire exit, because people were just standing in front of the back door. And so I told this woman, I was like, excuse me, can you please, move away from the back door? And she just had this like look, shocked look on her face. And I was like, I'm sorry, it's a fire thing. And she just kind of like walked away. And my boss comes over and was like, hey, don't tell that to her. That's Khalees. I was like,
Khalees.
oh fuck, that's my
Like her
milkshake.
milkshake brings
Yeah,
everyone-
that was fucking Khalees.
Because Nas would get very angry at you.
Yeah, if I told Khalees to move her ass from the fire door,
Okay,
yeah.
who are either of these people?
So Khalees did the "My milkshake brings all the boys to that song,
The song about manual stimulation.
right?
Rivers told her to move her milkshake.
I told her to move her ass, and I didn't know who she was because
Unaware that it brought all the people
I
there.
don't know who the fuck she was. I have to admit, seriously, do these people think because they have some stupid song it makes them
Right.
well, she was being paid for a very
I thought you were saying like they were getting paid to give their headshots to the restaurant.
no
Because
No,
that's
no,
that's
just to show
you
up
have
because
to-
like, oh, it's an
that's a
exclusive.
Did you have to
phenomenon.
give them a
That's-
headshot to work at this restaurant? Did they ask for that with your application?
no, but that is a thing now. That like especially out here, people do ask for your headshots and stuff.
I'm fucked.
I love going to restaurants in Los Angeles and seeing the random headshots that you see, like just kind of on the walls.
Oh,
there.
yeah.
The best one I ever saw.
There's always a Paul Reiser in
there's
there.
always a Paul Reiser. But if you go to the Okie Dog on Pico
God, it's probably
by La Brea, Shona from The Last Dragon has his headshot there, and you just turn around and you're just like, holy shit, show nothing here.
Have y'all ever been Old Tony's on Redondo Beach Pier?
No, but I'm sure it's amazing.
Oh,
the
all
headshots.
old celebrities go. My favorite one, though, is they have, you know, the cop from Sanford and Son, the white one? Hoppy.
Mr. Sanford, I think, okay, right in, guys. That's right on.
Remember him?
Yeah.
They have him.
He's just there. He's in a glass case.
I have him.
What, like Jeremy
He's the
Bentham?
dishwasher.
Jeremy Bentham or something like that? Who was the one having
Jeremy Bentham.
Yeah, didn't he set himself up as a dummy after he died?
Yeah. I thought Jeremy Bentham was the
He didn't have a
guy that was
headshot
in
there, no.
I mean, why not? He invented the panopticon.
Yeah, but I
know?
don't think he ever went to Redondo Beach. Although the top of Old Tony's is kind of shaped like a panopticon. Now that you mention it,
Yeah.
you heard it here first.
Yeah. I haven't ran into many people since I've been here.
Yeah, you've been here over. Well,
The month before I moved to LA, in one weekend at the same hotel in Miami, I saw Jamie Foxx and Scottie Pippen
oh shit!
at the pool.
man.
Hell yeah!
And so, but then I moved to LA and I haven't seen a fucking celebrity since I got here. It's ridiculous.
We saw Woody Harrelson driving, and he drives the way people drive tanks with their jaw first, just like that, like everything but the corncob pipe.
Scottie Pippen was getting a like a massage or a rub down from some pool girl in one of the like cabanas by the pool while his 3 kids just swam unattended like in the pool.
Hell yeah!
What does Woody Harrelson drive?
Like a green Aston Martin.
Oh, okay. Because I imagine
Like
him,
a new one.
Yeah, I imagine him driving like the pot van from Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke.
Just a convertible from Natural Born Killers, and just eating mushrooms, just downing mushrooms.
I don't know. Yeah, my list sucks. I've had people like I've seen. I don't know. The worst
Well, you
thing.
can always sign up for Scientology.
I've
maybe.
seen Ron Jeremy twice.
Oh, I saw him driving a Saturn. He drives a
Driving a Saturn.
I took a picture of it.
White Saturn.
I took a picture of it and put it on. You can follow me on Instagram. It's from like January of
Was that
last year.
hashtag Knights in White Satin or something?
Knights in White Saturn. Fuck, that was the hashtag.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Nights in White Saturn.
White Saturn. Fuck,
That's a third. You can do a throwback Thursday.
Yeah.
that's a sketch. That's a sketch there. Knights in White Saturn.
Saturn.
Never reaching the end.
God, we gotta find a Saturn to make the sketch. But yeah, holy shit.
You took me to Ariana Grande's house when I first moved here.
Yes, I did. Yeah, that's a very popular
Does
one.
seeing their houses count as celebrity encounters?
No, I don't think so.
Oh no, definitely not.
I just thought it was funny that Rivers knew where Ariana Grande lived.
Rivers knows where everybody
I know,
lives.
it's insane.
But that's his job. Pat's the only one that's an actual stalker.
Yeah, he follows Danzig to pick up his child from preschool.
His child, Bat Boy.
Benzig.
Danzig Thrall.
Daniel Zig.
Everybody in his name is just a first name and Zig. Benzig, Jerry Zig, Shannon Zig.
We had the conversation come up about Donald Trump off the air, and we brought up this one speech. So don't even play it.
The knife in the belt buckle speech.
So Rivers was just like, "Oh, you have to see this," and then he didn't stop it. So for the past 45 minutes on YouTube, it's been nothing but Donald Trump speeches, kind of coming from Rivers's. Oh God, this is
Which is kind of like what YouTube's just been like in general.
really, yeah.
That and a lot of
Well, really, yeah. Cable news.
All social network.
He wrote a book,
Well, there we
and
go.
he's doing great in Iowa.
Got
He's
an hour,
second in the
people.
polls. With all these professional politicians, I'm first, Carson's second. And I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. Because he wrote a book.
He might as well turn the chair around and sit in it backwards for this tone of this weird speech.
And that he's got basically pathological disease.
He's got
Now, he wrote this
pathological
before.
disease.
God, I hate this fucking guy.
Oh, he's the worst.
I think he's great.
Should at least explain that. Good day.
Oh, for pure entertainment.
I don't want to get blogged about.
Oh, no, I'm not voting for. I'm just saying
It was
for pure-
entertaining for a while, and now it's just
I think he's a
it's never
plant. I think he's a plant.
Yeah.
And I think he's doing the Lord's work. He's a plant. He's there to make sure that the Republicans don't win next year.
It is the thing I've noticed about him is that unlike every other Republican in history, he actually uses Democratic talking points to argue with everybody else on the dais, which is so fucking funny. But yeah, I told you guys this earlier. Like, I have a relative who has never posted anything on Facebook. Like, you go through their entire history, and all it is they change their profile picture like twice a year.
Right.
That's it. And then in the last 6 weeks, they've just been activated, and now every fucking day it's Donald Trump stuff, and it's like.
How many friends does he have now?
Yeah, I haven't checked.
Real life.
In
might
real
be-
life, probably 1.5.
Right, yeah.
Well, he's busy all day inside just posting all that Trump.
And to speak to another point that we made, this is not my Alabama relatives. This is my hey, fucking Staten Island. I
Yeah.
fucking love Donald Trump. Like, that's that half of the family. So yeah, it's gotten real. It's getting real interesting with the.
It's
Donald
real
Trump thing.
amusing. It really is. Every year they should have just a.
it's
every,
fine
seriously,
until-
he's never going to be the president. Every year they should have a joke candidate like this just to make the early part of the primaries interesting.
All right, there's a difference between running Donald Trump in the primaries and running Gallagher for California governor.
Yeah, Donald Trump's funny, and probably less racist. Can we say that? If it's not a brand
it's a
name,
toss-up of who's
Probably
more
right.
racist.
Probably right on both counts. Funnier and less racist. You're right.
And less messy.
Yeah, definitely less messy.
or Gary Coleman or. Oh my God!
Gary Coleman's dead.
Yeah.
No, but he ran for California governor.
Why didn't he win? Was it a height
Arnold
thing?
Because
He was Arnold. Remember the
Willis?
Willis was the. Did Willis run against him?
No,
He's
Todd
got-
Bridges didn't.
He can. He's an ex-felon.
No, you can run as a felon. You just can't vote for yourself. Because
glad to find that
Eugene
out.
Debs ran from jail, and
I know.
all these guys run from jail as joke candidates.
I
and stuff
voted
like
for him. I got sick of voting for William Jennings Bryan. He was never going to win. It's like, fuck it. Eugene v. Debs this year.
But the thing is that if you really think about it, if Arnold didn't run, if it was just Cruz Bustamante and everybody else,
My favorite
How
name
many
ever, by the way.
Yeah, what a great
people
name.
Cruz Bustamante.
can you imagine how many people would have voted for Gallagher or voted for Gary Coleman? It would have been shocking.
Oh, I'm not
Because the
saying
people that-
gubernatorial races. I'm only
Because
talking
the
about
people,
presidential.
because the people that voted for Arnold, there were a lot of people that were like, okay, I'm a moderate Republican and he has talking points that I'm in line with, or blah 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 blah. But there were a lot of people that were just like, oh, I just want to vote for a celebrity.
Yeah.
Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, exactly. Being a perfect example.
Yeah,
And he
I
wasn't
just
even
wanna-
a big star.
Yeah, I want to vote for a celebrity. So you can imagine all the people that were like that significant part of Arnold's, and I can say this because Arnold has signed one of my diplomas. So I feel
Did he
like
sign it? Getting the chopper.
so I could feel that I have room to gripe, but that significant portion of it, like maybe 20% of the electorate, could have voted for Gallagher.
Yeah. Well, dude, if that election had happened 10 years earlier, Gary Coleman and Gallagher, are you fucking
Oh, yeah.
kidding me?
They
would have
would've.
been in.
Who was his running mate? Gallagher 2? But they don't get along.
Lieutenant Governor
The melon.
Gallagher
Yeah.
too.
Just a sledgehammer with a face drawn on it.
Remember that guy in Ed and Eddie who had the piece of wood? Gallagher.
Lieutenant Governor Sledge-O-Matic is so funny. Here's my cabinet, and it's all melons. He's just smashing them.
And
It's all just real
mannequins.
cabinets. You smashing with a sledgehammer.
It's cabinets.
This is my cabinet, and he just brings out a hutch. A big, giant, oversized hutch for him to climb on and do street jokes. Why did Jonah not go fishing? Because he only had 2 worms. That would have been his inauguration speech. And then he would have smashed a car battery or something.
Just burn burn the audience.
Yeah.
No, he's
Right through their poncho, just acid seeping through their ponchos.
in one of his later HBO specials.
Oh, the dark years.
Yeah, he smashed
Dark years.
he smashed a car battery and a newspaper machine.
It's a horrible idea.
Yeah, and he also like smashed a.
I'll smash anything.
Yeah, he smashed a mannequin of
That's
like
what we need in the
Princess
office. Someone that'll
Diana.
smash anything.
Yeah,
So he was like Nostradamus or something.
Wait till the Sledge-O-Matic gets a hold of ISIS.
That is a good point.
Yeah, you can probably. I don't know.
I'd take a president who carries around a sledgehammer.
Well, I think we should be quiet though, because he might actually be listening, and we might actually cause the Gallagher presidency.
That'd be fun.
yeah.
Dude, yeah, that's Trump's running mate right there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and the thing that's also so like annoying. This is like a mild annoyance about his campaign, but there's all the like B and C level celebrities will be like, I'd love to be his running mate, like Charlie Sheen and like Gary Busey and Stephen Baldwin and like interviews are just like, well, I'd love to be his running mate. I'd do it in a second. And it's just like, this is such this is so ridiculous.
The third brother from Wahlburgers.
Yeah, not Mark.
Not Mark or
Not
Donnie.
new kid.
I love it. I think he's a social gadfly that makes us take a better look at the system. I think he's a double agent.
He is a giant breaching experiment. That's,
He's still going, by the way. This fucking speech is still.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, but that's because you didn't shut it off again.
yeah.
So the point is, he talks about stabbing somebody with a belt, and he steps away from the microphone and does his act out about stabbing somebody in the belt.
And the thing is that your YouTube metric is going to be really thrown off.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have all kinds of weird.
So
shit
you're
in the
just going to have a
margins.
bunch of like Alex Jones like videos. And
well, whatever
stuff.
gets rid of the porn, because they're spying on you, man. It gets awkward at work.
Oh god.
I gotta go
All right, bye, Pat.
later.
Good to see you.
Guys, have fun.
Yeah, man.
In the modern kitchen, there is a standard rule that for every kitchen task, you must have the proper tool. Now, you got your corers, your borers, your graters, your shredders, your hashers, your masters, your hammers and frammers, your mealers and peelers, corkscrewers and skewers, and knives, you wives and dishwashing daughters will find in the depths of the dirty dishwater. But you want all that crap in your drawers? No.
Wes, where can people find you on the internet, sir?
Wes Van Horn on Twitter, @ symbol in front of that. Mm-hmm. If you're familiar with Twitter. Wes Van Horn Comedy on Instagram.
Yeah. This is interesting, by the way, because a couple weeks ago we had Lee Keeler, who writes for Hustler, and you have written a couple articles for Playboy.
Yeah, for the website, not for the magazine.
Still counting it.
Yeah, I count it. I'd use it as a credit.
All I'm saying is I just,
You got a Hustler and a Playboy.
Right, so if I could just get like a broken down car full of cheerleaders to fuck me, we'd have we'd have
whole
we'd have the
trifecta.
Penthouse newsletter. That was our conversation with Wes Van Horn from a few weeks ago here in Los Angeles. Be sure to check out Wes on Twitter @Wes Van Horn, on Instagram @Wes Van Horn Comedy, and also he throws a mean Snapchat game, so follow that man. Now we're going to take you all the way to the other side of the country, to Birmingham, Alabama, to the living room of our friend Michael McCall. We talk about wrestling, we talk about life, we talk about the contents of a magazine that Nick Thomas and everybody else is reading from for this part of the episode, a magazine called Birmingham Doin's. So we take you now to Magic City, USA, with our co-host Nick Thomas and our very special guest Michael McCall. Let's go to Birmingham.
Birmingham, the greatest city in Alabama. You can travel across this entire land. There ain't no place like Birmingham.
Today we are on location. This is our first ever fully on location podcast. We are in the wilds of Birmingham, Alabama with the dirtiest player in the game.
I'm Michael McCall.
Yay!
You know, there's a lot of firsts tonight. This is, I believe, the first one I've ever done not wearing shoes. For example, there was a couple no pants ones, but this is the first one ever done of this episode of this show, people, when I was not wearing shoes.
Well, I'm happy that you're wearing pants.
Yeah, so I just rolled into Birmingham. We're chilling out at Michael McCall's house, looking at Birmingham doings.
The Cal-Bam connection.
Yeah, our friend Nick is here, sitting in for Pat Riley on the co-hosting spot.
Y'all need to go see the Muttcracker because listen, it's not in the Birmingham Doings book, but it is a circus chicken dog production.
Sorry?
That's the name of the production. It's not in there. I'll Google it. It's a thing.
Circus chicken dog?
Circus chicken dog productions.
What?
It's not in there.
Crazy.
Special breed that's especially there to hunt circus chickens. Can I see the Muttcracker? I want to see that.
It's not on there. I'll have to Google it. But
Is there a circus peanut dog too? Because those things are disgusting.
Yeah, circus chicken.
That's how they.
This looks cute. Look at the Muttcracker. They're jumping through. Ooh.
And you guys thought we were some sort of backwards town.
Ballet dancers
in
ain't
the
too
middle
bad
of
neither.
Alabama.
By the way, I'll just say this. I flew into Atlanta, and on my way from my plane to the curb to get picked up, I saw 3 unironic "Make America Great" Donald Trump hats in the Atlanta airport, just in a 100-yard walk from the plane to
George
the
is
outside.
full of that kind of
Can I
nonsense.
say this for all y'all people listening out there in Alabama? Y'all really know how to dress. I'll give y'all credit because it's great for Mr. Goodnight to go somewhere and nobody actually doesn't stand out at all except that he has sort of a large mustache, because everywhere else I go, they think I fell out of a tree, but people here really know how to dress.
What does it say? Puppets, jugglers, live musicians, 6 rescued circus dogs, giant bubbles, Scarlet Macaw, balancing acts.
No relation.
Circus chicken dog. That's their tagline.
This is the Muttcracker. So the Birmingham Ballet, I mean, those poor girls, they got to work with animals, which is never...
I think those are two separate things.
Really? Because, the Nutcracker's a ballet, so I thought maybe they have ballet and, in between maybe a few dog tricks thrown up on there. I would see it either way. I mean, nice-looking ballerinas and cute little doggies. Fuck, sounds like a good time to me, especially if you could go high. The Magic City Classic. Have you ever... What is that? Is that like a magic contest
That is a battle between the 2 largest historically black colleges in the area. It's Alabama A&M versus Alabama State.
Oh, so that must be good times.
Oh, they put on a party. It's like a week-long party.
Okay, now there's also Broadway in Birmingham. Now, is that like a theater thing, or is it just the name of a particular street?
It's a theater thing. Traveling shows, road companies.
Okay, because see, I thought it was a street.
Nick isn't as cultured as I am, so he's not going to know about your Broadway production.
Well, it's hard to be.
He's going to know more about all the Birmingham shit. I don't know anything that goes on here.
Because where do you live?
I live in Kimberly.
Describe your neighborhood, because I got to go to your house back in April, and it was not Birmingham.
It's not Birmingham.
Yeah.
It's Kimberly, Alabama. You can probably just Google that. I'm sure there's still some active Klan meetings still out there.
Oh, Jesus.
Me and my dad actually, not in Kimberly, in Warrior right down the road, which is basically Kimberly. This was 10 years ago, probably. So kind of recent.
Yeah.
We just accidentally rolled up on a Klan meeting.
just.
I mean, they weren't like burning crosses or anything, but it was the Klan, and it was still uncomfortable.
That's usually, if you're not uncomfortable at Klan meetings, something's wrong.
I just had a recent brush with what was probably Klan members at the annual Trustful Holiday Parade.
Oh boy!
So I'm there with my niece and nephews, and these jackasses in a truck. They have all these Confederate flags on there, and it's the Sons of Confederate Veterans. So they stop right in front of me, and I start booing them.
Yeah.
And then the guy goes, "Know your history," and I go, "You son of a bitch! I was a history major."
Yeah. I am a historian.
Yeah, I said this isn't Germany. And he goes, yeah. And he goes, yes, United States of America. I said, yeah, the United States, not the Confederate States.
Right.
And, I mean, it was almost like an incident. I was waiting,
Yeah.
Fortunately, I was in my neighbor's driveway, my parents' neighbor's driveway. And so if there's any cross burnings, it will be on his property and not my
Right.
parents'.
Well, and it's good because you're with like some kids, so you can just push them in the way of the guy when he runs at you and make it out.
But that would have infuriated me in 2015, and that kind of nonsense still happens.
Yeah.
All that this, if Lincoln, if you was alive during the war, Lincoln could depend on you to be a bastion of Alabama unionism.
I don't know.
You're a one-man Winston County, huh?
That's right. I'm the free state of Winston.
Mike worked in the wrestling biz for many years, and that
is true. That is.
I want to hear some wrestling biz.
That
stories.
is what I did prior to comedy.
So were you ever doing like both at once?
The first couple of years I was doing comedy, I was still doing wrestling.
Okay. When did you start working, or how did you start? I should say.
Okay, how did I start? Well, I was working at a record store, and we had
a very the normal way.
Sure. And one of our regular customers who liked to buy Kiss bootlegs, which we sold.
This is already the weirdest story I've
was
ever
a guy
heard.
named the Mad Dog Dan Sawyer. No actual relation to Buzz Sawyer, but he claimed one gimmick-wise. And he would wrestle on like WCW Saturday nights. So he wasn't a big name, but he was a jobber, basically.
Yeah.
And so I knew him from that. And my younger brother approached me if I knew anybody in the wrestling business, and I said, actually, I happen to know this guy comes in my store all the time. And so I put him in touch with him, and so he trained my younger brother, who was probably like 20, 21 at the time. And so my brother wrestled a couple matches, and then Dan came to me, and he's like, look, you're always talking a lot of shit. You should be his manager. So on Sundays, I would drive out to Palmerdale, Alabama, and go to Mad Dog's House of Pain, where I learned the art of professional wrestling.
What was your brother's ring name?
Well, his first gimmick, we both worked a Japanese gimmick. We were the two whitest Japanese people ever.
What?
We both wore masks. He was Kato. So he wore like the full karate outfit.
And a mask.
And wore a mask. And I would come in with a big Japanese flag. And I was the professor number 2.
The professor number 2.
Number 2. I learned everything from my departed father, the professor.
Well, I was going to ask, was it something like, with like Mr. Wrestling 2, where like decades ago there was a professor number 1 and you were taking on the gimmick later on?
I don't know if there ever was a professor, but that was just what we came up with.
I want to know who the first 2 Percy Pringles were.
That led to our very second match. We were doing that. And I think Sandman was wrestling one of our guys. That was the main event.
Oh, God.
Dick was kind of like the Sandman last night.
A little bit. And we're in Childersburg, Alabama, which Rivers, I think you're familiar with. A little closer to your neck of the woods.
DeSoto Caverns, baby.
There you go. So we're down there, and so I come to the ring flying this big-ass Japanese flag. What no one tells me is that there's a huge contingent of World War II veterans.
Fuck yeah. Oh, I'm sure they love that.
So what did we do? I'd get in the ring, and Kato would whisper in my ear, and I would translate for the crowd. So we did this whole thing where I was like, Kato wishes to apologize for the bombing of Pearl Harbor. Again, not knowing any World War II veterans. And I go, oh, I'm sorry, I mistranslated. He meant to say he wished they had bombed Childersburg, Alabama instead. That kind of that kind of stuff. And
I understand. He speaks the universal language of cheap heat.
So the match starts. He's wrestling our boss, who's Dan Sawyer, and we get outside the ring, and about a minute into it, I feel this thump on the back of my head, and I turn around, and there's got to be a 90-year-old man, and he's got his AmVet hat on.
Oh, fuck.
And he's got his dukes up. He's fighting for Lady Liberty one last time.
What'd he throw at you?
No, he punched me in the back of the head. No, he's literally standing there with his dukes up. So I'm on the I'm right by the ring apron. I go, Dan, what do I do? He goes, go to the other side of the ring, stupid. I was like, oh, that makes sense. So that was like my very second match.
If you really wanted heat, though, you could have whacked a veteran.
Yeah, well,
just take his hat.
As from a family of veterans, I could
take his hat and put it on, and then wave the flag. That's how you really get a riot going.
Before I forget, since you mentioned Sandman, go watch his shoot interview, because he just gets fucking hammered and talks about 9/11 conspiracies for a fucking hour. He is a fucking 9/11 truther.
Oh God, I wish Warrior was still alive. They could just put both. They could put both of them in a room, and it would just be a fucking snake eating its own tail.
He was pretty hammered later that night.
Jesse Ventura could interview him. And Billy Jack Haynes with his conspiracy that there is too.
I bet they could just put all of the ex-wrestlers in one room, and you would figure it out by the end of the night.
Bombshell tonight, like Nancy Grace says.
No doubt. I mean, it was a lot of fun. I loved it, and that's how I first learned to work a crowd. It's all through wrestling.
And you work. I mean, you worked as a heel.
Oh, I was totally.
Always? Yeah.
No, for about a year of my run, I worked face and hated every second of it.
Yeah.
Face manager.
Well, at that point, I'd quit being a manager. I was like the Vince McMahon of the federation. I was
an authority
figure.
That never works in the indies.
But I got like so over that they tried to turn me face. It just didn't work.
What was the company that you were?
GCW, Global Championship Wrestling.
Are they still around?
They are still active. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can find them on YouTube. GCW.
Wow. So you could make a comeback potentially.
Conceivably.
Yeah.
I say I'm retired, but I still got it. I can still take a few bumps.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you ever get like thrown through a table or anything like that?
Never a table. As the heel manager, about every couple months you had to get your comeuppance.
Yeah, of course. That's the fun part.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You just get the shit beat out of you, and the only time I did a gimmick match where I fought a referee for the title of Golden Gloves champion of GCW. But a guy, his ref name was Bernie Kowanowitz, so we had a gimmicked boxing match where all my guys ran in and would beat him up while my back turned, and then I just knocked him out. So I left as the reigning Golden Gloves champion.
Bernie Kowanowitz?
Bernie Kowanowitz.
Did he wear a yarmulke and shit?
No, he didn't. He was just a skinny. He was so good. He literally could have been the WWE.
Okay, so he wasn't a racist Jewish stereotype.
And he also wrestled as I don't know if I'm telling tales out of school here. Probably no crossover on this. He had a gimmick called the Inhuman Fly, where he was a masked wrestler. He was from parts unmentionable, and he weighed 1,000 pounds. That's how we introduced. And he was probably like 140 soaking wet. But he was great. I mean, he was a great wrestler.
Almost like the Hollies gimmick.
Almost, but he liked to work double a night so he could get paid twice.
Oh, so, nice.
Yeah.
Because
he'd work ref and then wrestle a match.
Because Bob and Crash Holly would come out back in the early 2000s, and they would say, weighing it at well over 800 pounds, and then these two skinny blonde guys would come out.
It's not too different from
one of them holding a scale. It's fucking hilarious. But yeah, so you worked heel most of the time, and I know you got to meet the legendary Dusty Rhodes.
So many got to not only meet him, work in a match with him.
Yeah, obviously,
which was great.
Love Dusty. I want to hear anything you got to say about Dusty Rhodes.
So prior to the match, I talked to the promoter. I'm like, please let him make a comeback. Because I was managing this team, a tag team, and they were going to wrestle Dusty and Rick Steiner.
Oh, God.
And so during
what year was this?
2003.
Oh, no. This is like right before he went into real estate.
2002, 2001, somewhere in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
I want to say 03.
Yeah. A lot of sweat, I'm guessing.
Oh, a lot of very
old,
very sweaty
sweat.
And so the promoter didn't want me to do it. I told him I would cut my face open if I could take a bionic elbow.
Yeah.
He wouldn't let me do it. So we get out there for the match, and the referee, he bans me from ringside. So I go up into the announcing booth, and I'm running him down. And about 10 minutes into the match, Steiner turns on him, so all three of them start beating him down. So I strut down to the ring, point to my brain. Like I outsmarted the American Dream, and I grabbed a mic, and I was like, where's your American Dream now? And I was like, hold him up, and they held him up, and I slapped him in the face. And
oh, that's awesome.
And I'm dying on the inside because I'm a huge Dusty Mark.
That's not awesome, Rivers. It's awesome, work perhaps, but in concept, it's not.
No, I mean... It was an honor to have done it, and then we get.
That's what I meant.
Yeah. Me and Mike, and also his twin brother Matt, we're good friends. But when we first met, he said, "I want to get the slap Dusty Rhodes in the face," and I was like,
"Yeah, Goodnight did not like that."
Yeah, I did not like
initially.
that. I got to defend the dream when I can. So I've said I don't like this fucking Mike McCall guy. He claims he tried to beat up the dream, and so the next time I
never claimed I beat him up.
Well, he claimed the next time I saw him, he claimed to be his good twin, Matt. And I think that's where why we was able to get along.
I don't recall.
That's because until I was realized they were in fact one and the same. He totally pulled the wool over my eyes with that one.
And that was probably the most heat I ever got.
Yeah.
That was like nuclear heat.
Where was that?
It was at Boutwell Auditorium in Birmingham. Alabama.
Oh, okay, shit. Yeah, okay. Damn.
You worked with a lot of legends over the years, didn't you?
I did. I worked with Dusty. I worked with Terry Funk, Ric Flair.
I don't mean to turn you into a comedy jukebox, but if you would tell us the Hacksaw Jim Duggan story.
Well, it's not an uncommon thing apparently with Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
That's why we need. See, we don't have Pat here, but why don't you tell him, and I'll tell him what Pat.
The first time we worked with Hacksaw Jim Duggan, we brought him in for a spot, and after the match, he comes up completely naked, by the way, butt-ass naked. He goes, "Hey, brother, you know where Hacksaw can get a dime bag?"
Where was you were in like a locker room?
Yeah, in the locker room.
Hacksaw get a dime bag? No, but I know where Hacksaw will get a pair of pants.
And I was like, well, as a matter of fact, I do. Let me make some calls. And an hour later, I'm sitting in a hotel room smoking a J with Hacksaw Jim Duggan, thinking to myself, isn't life weird sometimes?
Yeah.
Isn't life surreal?
Pat Riley, though, apparently said, Pat, who's not here tonight, our good friend, claims that everybody in the town he's from in Florida has smoked weed with Hacksaw.
Former coach of the Miami Heat, Pat Riley. Is that who we're talking about?
No, former and soon to be again other guy on Goods from the Woods.
Oh, that Pat Riley.
He says, Hacksaw goes to the bar there and he's always looking for doob. So
yeah,
it's
and then
easy,
afterwards he goes, "Don't tell my wife." I'm like, what?
Does she not know who she married?
Yeah, I think at the time he was battling cancer, and I think he wasn't supposed to be smoking anyway.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So thank God he survived. I would have felt bad if I contributed in any way to the death of Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Oh God, that's awesome.
You say Terry Funk could? Hell, you say Terry Funk could really drink now.
Terry Funk put us under the table, and I was 25 at the time, and it was the night after the Dusty match. So we go back to Jitterbugs in Homewood, Alabama, because they were all staying at that hotel. And
what is Jitterbugs?
Jitterbugs is I don't even know if it's still open, but it was a bar attached to the Holiday Inn hotel in Homewood, Alabama, and it was basically the place where divorced women came to get laid. So we're all down there.
Cougar Town.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Jitterbug.
So we're sitting at a table, and it's Terry Funk, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Dusty went to bed. He didn't want to hang out.
Yeah.
Sean Stasiak, fresh off his meat gimmick.
Wow.
And Shark Boy. And we're all doing tequila shots.
It's basically like the Last Supper.
Basically, we're all
with Shark Boy.
We're all doing tequila shots with Terry Funk, who had to have been in his mid to late 60s at that point.
Yeah,
and he drank me under the table. I mean, yeah I couldn't stand.
All right, I want to drink off between Nick Thomas, Terry Funk, and the Sandman.
I think Terry would win, honestly, after seeing all three of them drinking, and Nick would put in a great effort, especially after last night. And Nick could probably take the Sandman, but I could
take Sandman.
I don't think any human.
It sounds like Terry Funk's fucking.
He's a legendary.
Got a fucking
drinker.
Problem to me.
Yeah,
he's a god in many ways, not just as a wrestler, but of course as a singer as well. Whose album from Japan, Great Texan, certainly changed my life and hopefully yours too.
What song do you like?
Oh, I like all of them. How about a little Rapogi?
Let's hear a little bit of it.
Smoking American cigarettes, drinking hot sake, but I still can't forget all of the times that I should have said I love you. I love
you. Green Acres Cafe, Birmingham's best fried chicken, wings, livers, and gizzards. 251-3875-1705 4th Avenue North downtown. You go down there, you ain't gonna see Eb Hamey, but boy, you is gonna find the best chicken parts all over Birmingham. You might say, I want a breast, I want a thigh. No, I want some chitlins, you understand? I want some giblets, and I want some gizzards. So get your ass down to Green Acres Cafe at 1819 Crestwood Boulevard in Irondale and 1705 4th Avenue North, downtown Birmingham. Tell them Good Night sent you.
And we're back.
Definitely want to eat
hold
there.
on. Green Acres Cafe, they're stepping hard on the old Irondale Cafe's territory over there.
Green Acres is the place to be, Rivers.
Let me tell you something. Irondale Cafe, overrated.
You know what?
Yeah, I prefer Green Acres.
Really? I might have to go try Green Acres. The amazing thing about the Irondale Cafe, every time I go there, I'll meet with friends. I'm like, hey, let's meet up at Irondale Cafe. And if you don't know, the Irondale Cafe is the inspiration for the film
Fried Green
Tomatoes. Right?
So, and their fried green tomatoes, terrible.
Oh, see, I like
so
the fried
not
green.
very good. No, I've had them better at many different places.
But my point is, I'll go there with friends, and then we sit down at the table, and people haven't ordered the fried green tomatoes. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Maybe Mike talked to them first.
Yeah, Mike intercepted them.
Spreading the word that they're terrible.
Guy that he hangs around with.
But yeah,
my evil twin. Or
but-
is he the good twin? Which am I the evil twin?
I think you're the evil twin.
Oh, okay.
Matt's
It's all existential.
You're the good one because you bought our tickets and Milo's. So
I'm glad you're here, Nick. I really mean that.
yeah, man,
So, you know, man.
we got real sentimental last night
How could you
over that
not, man?
bottle in the bathroom.
Oh,
the
yeah,
one
I saw
that-
Nick, and my heart was so glad, and then he pulled out that bottle of Aristocrat, and I was even gladder.
Yeah, and Wes Van
I
Horn
love that it was Aristocrat, and you guys were basically drinking Windex.
Yeah, in a bathroom.
In a toilet. We went in a toilet together.
It was a
like we
unisex
was
bathroom.
women, or we was going to do cocaine or some shit.
So what have you been up to? We haven't had you on since you were still living in LA. The Fall Brawl '93 episode. How's yeah? We had a whole episode where we reviewed Fall Brawl '93. It was garbage.
Wasn't it? Because there was
Fucking
one we
terrible.
talked about truckers and crank or something.
There was one we did though.
Yeah. That was before.
Actually, listened to the Fall Brawl podcast on my way to Natchez, Mississippi.
Oh, really?
One weekend.
Oh, nice.
Needed some entertainment.
By the way, Mike, did you ever wrestle in Natchez?
Never wrestled in Natchez.
So you never did any matches
Mississippi.
in Natchez?
No, and it did not do any matches in Natchez. Mainly Alabama as the territory I worked. Alabama, a little bit Georgia sometimes.
The old Continental.
No, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So what have you been up to, Nick?
I was sitting here trying to think of an answer. Nothing. I've just doing.
I've observed him doing?
Yeah. Mike, you can answer Nick's question. Mike, what has Nick been doing?
Well, from what I can tell, Nick's been drinking terrible vodka and stumbling places, working at various restaurants in town. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
Multiple one, yeah.
Just
Well,
one.
no, I think you were at another one, and now you're at a different one.
well, two.
And occasionally doing some comedy here and there.
I'm actually planning on going to Atlanta for a little while before I go back to LA.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, Wagner's moving there. Josh Wagner. It's
Oh,
a
yeah,
guy
yeah.
we know.
Yeah, of course.
Very funny.
Oh, okay. He's moving to Atlanta.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Hi, Josh Wagner. How you doing?
Yeah, we're planning on doing some stuff out there.
Well, that'll be fun.
Yeah, that's about it though.
Yeah.
But yeah, he nailed it. That's what I've been every day. Polish off 2 Aristocrat bottles, one in the morning, one at night.
Yeah.
You know, one for at home, one for the toilet.
Yeah,
and
one to share with friends.
And by the way, killing it really fucking hard with the Facebook statuses. That's the most. Whenever your name comes up, that is the thing we talk about. Your joke about sipping on lean in the back of the church.
Oh, that one didn't get a lot of heat.
Was one of the funniest things I've ever read.
I can't.
Nick throws a strong Facebook and Instagram game, I have to say.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Y'all may only get to experience Nick over the internet, but some of us lucky ones get it to experience him in person. You understand? So my Nick Thomas memories don't usually have to do with the internet.
No. Not unless you're a loser.
Yeah, exactly. And how do y'all feel about that? Jealousy, envy.
It does not look good on you, honey. It does not. But yeah, just making moves to get some shit done with Wagner. Hopefully, we're trying to put some stuff together.
That sounds a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Any fun stuff with you, Mike? What's going on with you?
Oh, well, I'm always working on. So I told Mr. Goodnight today about an idea I had for a TV pilot for The Goods from the Woods. So I'll be scripting that out and sending that to y'all.
Oh yeah, that would be.
Oh, is there any part for gorillas in that?
Well, there's always
Because I know this guy Gary,
gorillas,
and he might work for bananas. Gary, if you're listening, Merry Christmas.
just doing comedy around the Southeast, and wherever I can drive to in one night.
Yeah.
I don't like to. I hate to fly, so I don't like to.
Yeah.
To go anywhere. Just opened a new room here in town, trying to make it Birmingham's answer to the Laughing Skull in Atlanta.
Okay, yeah,
So
that's
a smaller club, but with better like alt talent and
All right.
regional talent. So this is like tonight. You and Goodnight are going to be there, and Mr. Thomas here. It'll be our 4th or 5th show there. So we're really going to hit it hard, harder.
Yeah.
Next, kind of a soft open.
Yeah.
In November of this year, and then we're going to really hit it in 2016.
That's awesome.
So
what's that place called?
It is called the Crake.
Okay.
Which is some kind of, it's inside of an Irish bar.
Okay.
And I didn't want to name it that, but I don't put the money up for it. So
yeah.
you have to kind of go with the owner on that one, but it's a
What
really
is a Crake?
It's Irish for like laughter and conversation.
Oh, see, I feel like it should be
Gaelic.
called the Titter.
I thought it was that giant octopus thing.
No, not the Kraken. Well, I call it the Crake. Others say it's traditionally pronounced the Crack, but I don't want to call it the Crack.
The Crack.
Because, we're in the Crack Room, which is a little too close to the Crack Den or the Crack Home.
Yeah.
You would also have to call it the Crack at Buck Mulligan's, too, which just does not sound good.
A lot of hard K sounds in that, which I know are traditionally the funniest, but I don't like it.
Right.
Staccato, though.
Well, yeah, Mike, where can people find you on the internet, sir?
They can find me on Twitter at @JMichaelMcCall. That's Michael, Mr. Goodnight, MICHAEL, not Matt. They can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/the Michael McCall.
Okay.
Take that, Australian Michael McCall.
That Matt.
And on Instagram at Magic City Saint.
Yeah.
And a little shout out to my love of CM Punk on that one.
Nick Thomas, where can people find you on the internet, my friend?
Finally figured out how to change my Twitter handle from Thomas Not Funny. So my Twitter handle is Thomas 4 real. And,
it's no longer Yahoo Serious Official.
That was my old Instagram, and I was yeah.
That somehow works.
It's now Reckless Kelly.
What?
No, it's a Yahoo Serious movie. It's
Ned Kelly. Do you remember that movie?
It's one of the 2 movies he made. You remember the one where he does Chuck Berry covers really terribly?
Young
the whole time?
Einstein.
Young Einstein.
Yeah. No, Ned Kelly was a famous Australian outlaw who's been played by such notable figures in the past as Mick Jagger and
Yahoo
Serious.
But yeah, my name on Instagram's not Timus. That's probably hard to find. Just figure it out.
Dude, okay, let's talk about branding for a moment. Pick one thing.
Chuck Connors?
Oh, these are my official now.
Oh, okay.
Actually, can I ask Mike one thing before we go?
Yeah.
On the spot, Mike, favorite mulligan. And don't say Stu, neither.
Blackjack, all the way. I saw Blackjack Mulligan when I was in 4th grade at a WWF house show here in Birmingham, and I loved him.
Good answer.
Blackjack, and then secondary to Bucks, of course, because we'll be performing there tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. Goodnight said he's going to do his tight hour and a half, and I'm super excited to hear him go for 90 minutes.
Yeah, and if the ladies are there, maybe after the show, you can be super excited to hear Mr. Goodnight go for 15 or 20, if you know what I mean. Private show, you bring the Rianita, honey.
Far from Sepulveda, but still getting it in, and I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah. When you are the sex symbol of Sepulveda Boulevard, that shit travels everywhere. You understand?
I understand, because you're speaking to the Monday Night Delight, the Magic City Saint. Some have referred to me as the Still City Poonhound in the past. Now that's in the past. I'm in a committed relationship now, but I've been referred to that before.
Yeah, like Hacksaw. Don't tell my wife.
This last segment we recorded backstage at Yellahammered, our big holiday homecoming event that was held this year at Workplay Theater with Mr. Goodnight, Neighbor Frank on Plug 2, and our special guest, my good friend, the author, musician, super talented dude, Jonny Moze. Say your names, boys.
Neighbor Frank.
This is a good man of the hour, tower of power, too sweet to be sour.
And we are backstage at Yellahammered here in Birmingham, rainy Birmingham. The second year in a row, there is a risk of an ungodly deluge coming down. But you will be hearing this after Christmas, so hope you guys had a good one. And we're here with one of my oldest friends from Daphne, Alabama, Jonny Moze.
Hey, I'm Johnny.
How's it going, man?
It's going well. We just drove through that horrible bruise-colored sky, and it was terrifying. It was like God reached down and gave us the bird.
freaking me out thinking it was going to be like the Wizard of Oz or some shit. And I thought he was going to die on the way in.
Well, I told him to keep a lookout for tornadoes so that, if one hit us, we could roll out of the truck real quick and lie in a ditch and be safe.
Like in Twister.
Exactly.
Or attach yourself to a leather strap in a barn and just ride it out.
I've got a leather belt for that very reason. So I think I tried to convince him that we were safe, but he was not in a mood to be talking about tornadoes.
Freaking me out. That's what he was doing.
And good night. You've been in Birmingham the past few days. How's that been going?
I've been having a real good time. But I remember I was with my friend Matt. I ripped the sink off the wall. I watched his TV. We had a good time. I went to Milo's a lot.
You've become a devotee of Milo's. Also, his name is Mike.
Oh. Sorry, Mike.
What's your favorite thing to get at Milo's?
Oh, like Mike says, the no sauce, because if you get you get the burger, just sauce, and you get the fries, and you have all the things you can dip them in, like the ranch and all this. It's not the quality ingredients; it's the seasoning. You understand? Because when you get the Milo's, the double burger there with the onions and things on, it gets too messy. But just the sauce, it's perfect. And then there's the sweet tea. I thought it was just a sweet tea until recently. And just no, Milo's. There's a whole nother universe, brother. It's out there.
This episode of The Goods from the Woods brought to you by Milo's, located pretty much only in Birmingham, Alabama.
If they want to give me free stuff, I could be like their Jared, except without any of the problems that are now associated with him.
They used to have a Milo's in Auburn,
Why
but
did they get rid of it?
It failed. For some reason, there was a Milo's in the mid-'90s in Auburn. This is before they came out with the sweet tea. So they didn't have the brand recognition that they quite did. They just were a Birmingham company. They opened one up in Auburn, and it failed after like half a year. And the general manager, instead of just letting bygones be bygones and going off into the sunset, he decided to reopen Milo's under a different name, that name being Kilby's, which is the worst name for a restaurant. Like, you should never have a restaurant with the name Kill in the title, really.
Make honey or something.
But yeah, they had the Kilby's, and Milo's has a very famous theme song that everybody in Birmingham knows that goes,
Everybody goes to Milo.
and it used to come on the radio during all the football games. So it's a thing everybody knew growing up. And when they opened Kilby's, instead of just paying the money to get a new theme song, the guy just took the Milo's theme song and just dubbed in his own voice. So the song now goes,
Everybody goes to
Kilby's on Magnolia. And that was the new theme song.
That's like the Golden Flake commercial, which is maybe the greatest radio commercial I've ever heard.
Well, what's that one?
It was recorded in the 90s when this was acceptable, apparently. But it's the Golden Flake chips. Munch 'em, got to grab 'em. Golden Flake chips. Everybody's got to have 'em. Oh, it's awful. Your friends go hand in hand with golden flakes of fucking chips. Or something like that.
You were the one who told me about my favorite local commercial in the Birmingham area.
Chip Ellis.
Chip Ellis, I Am the Bank.
Chip Ellis Cars America, I Am the Bank, I believe was the full title.
Jonny Moze and I both went to the University of Montevallo very briefly, and you would wake up on a Sunday morning, and Chip Ellis this is a car dealer, would buy hours of time on local television, literally for 4 or 5 hours.
Well, he used to be a cocaine dealer, so he had the money lying around. I'm pretty sure he used his coke money to open up the car dealership / it was really just a repo place.
Right.
Like, he sold dirt cheap cars to people who couldn't afford them and then took them back a few weeks later. But he had the best sayings, like, what is it? What did he say?
I am the bank.
I am the bank.
That's his main
You need a
slogan.
loan, pick up the phone. You come down to Chip Ellis Cars America, I am the bank.
I am the
And
bank.
then he'd smile real weird. Like,
Yeah, here we go. My mama raised me in Lowndes County, Alabama, and I wasn't born with no silver spoon in my mouth, and I expect everybody to be treated fairly, and I'll do it, and Ricardo over in financing will help you out, Ricardo. And then they just cut to this nervous guy just being like,
please don't kill me.
We are the bank. Thanks, Ricardo. Anyway, and then he just keeps going for another 2.5 hours.
Well, he also...
Well, what happened at Kilby's?
Kilby's. Kilby's went out of business again.
Is that like a threat to Arby's or something?
Well, what would Kilby stand for?
Well, if it would just be like a violent Arby's.
Stands for Milo's. Why did you not eat that stuff? That shit's good. What the hell was wrong with y'all?
They got one in Tuscaloosa.
What did they have to put little tigers stamps on the burger or some shit like that to get you to eat some good food around here?
I mean, the restaurant's theme colors are red and white, so that's a bit of a drawback in Auburn.
Naturally.
This was that crap again. Look, let me tell y'all this. I'm going to say this bluntly. All right, you come to Alabama. And it's like this War Eagle Roll Tide shit. It's like the Shia Sunni divide, only it makes a lot less sense. And the Longhorns would take any of them boys down.
Yeah, during our trip, Goodnight has decided to start following college football, and on behalf of the late great Dusty Rhodes and the still with us Stan Hansen, has decided to become a Hook'em Horns Texas Longhorns fan.
I know they're not in the conference, but watch them whoop on all them War Eagle boys next year. And y'all got 2 Roll Tide, and I'm talking you 2 Mizzou, everybody in the Pac-10. Y'all look out because Longhorns are coming around this year. You understand?
If they play Auburn next year, it'll be in another toilet bowl, probably. I hope Auburn doesn't have to face Texas next year.
You should hope Auburn don't have to face the Longhorns. I'm all set. So now it's not fronting, people. And the Longhorns are coming next year. Look out, New England Patriots. They might just start globe-trotting and start kicking y'all's NFL asses, too. Look out, Brett Favre's. All the people that's playing football. Does Jim McMahon still play? All these people, look out, because they're going to hook them next year. But this year, I ain't going to bother following it yet because I don't feel like getting up that early.
Yeah, there's too many bowl games this year. Including the Birmingham Bowl that Auburn's playing in. That's going to be a fucking disaster.
Against Robertsdale Middle School, their longtime rival.
Robertsdale. You're from that area.
Yeah. So that Robertsdale Middle School is a real thing, I think.
Yeah, I know. There's Robertsdale. There was Loxley.
Silver Hill, Bay Minette.
Yeah.
Loxley named for Robin Hood.
Well, that's the thing. I was a big Robin Hood fan, so when we go to the beach, we have to drive through Loxley, and that's where we get the good boiled peanuts, too, at Bay Minette, and then you go through Loxley. Bay Minette, you actually told me the hilarious story about why Bay Minette is they stole the...
Yeah, they came down to Daphne with torches and pitchforks in the late 1800s, stole all the records,
and the town charter, right?
Yeah,
the county charter.
Announced themselves the seat of the
I didn't know they had records back then.
Well, they just used papyrus. They didn't know how to write yet, but they had...
How do you listen to papyrus on a turntable?
Well, you got to get a really good speaker system.
Was they looking at these records? It was Frankenstein actually passing through town.
Frankenstein or his monster?
Oh, don't get pedantic with this. When I see an army of pitchforks and torches and shit, I think Frankenstein's in town.
I understand that.
That's just me. Call me crazy, call me a pervert, but it's just me.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite Alabama facts that a town decided they wanted to be the county seat, so they marched into the county seat and took all the records in the county charter by force.
And they are still the county seat. Like, that worked.
It worked
really well.
Daphne must have just been a bunch of lazy fucks. They're like, yeah, just keep it, bro. It's fine.
Yeah,
like,
they just kind of rolled over. They were hanging out.
Yeah. Because you used to play in bands and stuff down in Mobile, right? I wanted you to talk about the docks.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Okay, so there was this neighborhood swim club that was abandoned, and right before they tore it down, they gave it to us weirdo kids and said, you go have your little shows there. And so we ran it when we were all in high school. I wasn't actually part of it. I say we. It was some guys I knew, but I played with some bands in there, and there was this one band there called Supreme Dispassion. And I don't know if they're the guys who are in it still around, but their whole hook was that all of their songs were explicitly blasphemous.
Yeah.
So they had songs like the Dead Will Fuck Again. I'm trying to think of some other good ones. The Fat Baptist, and then I'm Gonna Watch the Smurfs, which it was a blasphemous song actually.
What is this stuff? It's disgusting. Who was this?
They were called Supreme Dispassion. But anyway. They played at the show, and some parents saw their lyrics on their website and got the whole venue shut down because they said we were all Satanists and that we were doing drugs and stuff, which we actually weren't. It was disappointing.
And that was the Docks, right?
Yeah, it was called the Docks.
Yeah. You guys were trying to track down some footage, I remember, of a lady saying that one of the songs is called Playin' in the Doo-Doo.
Yes, that's right. There was like a neighborhood council meeting, and she read the lyrics to Playin' in the Doo-Doo, which is exactly what it sounds like. Their lyrics were deep, though. Like, I'm going to watch the Smurfs was great. It was like, tell Dad I'm not going to go to church. I'm going to watch the Smurfs.
It was real rebellion.
It was real rebellion.
Yeah.
Were these people nerds?
No, well, yeah. But they were long hairs, too.
I think what he's trying to say is that these were not just your garden variety nerds. They had a little bit of a little bit of the metal side to them, maybe, or punk side, to something like that.
Well, they didn't have a guitarist. It was just a drummer and a bassist, and so they just played.
Did that turn out to be Roman Gabriel Todd's Beast Rising Up Out of the Sea?
It is absolutely Roman Gabriel Todd's Beast Rising Up Out of the Sea.
in the shadow of death. Turn it up in the shadow of death.
They were fucking
great.
great. And they dressed in like Zelda costumes, basically. Like, they were badass.
I take it back, they're nerds.
Yeah, they were nerds.
They were nerds.
Yeah.
It's different down here.
What happened to music? I thought Cheap Trick were weirdos. Pat Robertson, if you're listening, y'all got to do a segment on 700 Club about this nerd thing. I saw the one y'all did about the Gothic movement. That was very insightful. Now y'all got to do one about this nerd shit because they're now like blaspheming and everything. They're not just doing math no more.
I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Jonny Moze as much as I did. You can follow us on Twitter @TheGoodsPod, Facebook.com/TheGoodsPod. Hey, if you want to give us a Christmas present, why not log on to iTunes, give us a 5-star review, tell everybody why you like the show. That really helps out our rankings a lot. We're going to take you out now with a song. Jonny Moze was nice enough to bring his guitar along and play one of my favorites. This song is called Ain't That a Barrel, and we'll see you next week.
Well, I used to have a down-home woman about as sober as the bottom of an empty can. Her daddy made money down in Mobile, making them marbles for the Ku Klux Klan. She left me stoned and rambling, cursing the sky with a gun in my hand. She said, I doubt you ever could protect me from my daddy, so I'm leaving for a realty man. And I was fraught with emotion, my wits beside me, and I hung down my head. I said, ain't that a barrel of motherfuckers, and ain't that a kick to the head? My country loving woman went and left me for another, left me wishing that I was dead. Took 15 shots of whiskey, get that lady out of my head. So ain't that a barrel of motherfuckers, and ain't that a kick to the head? Then her daddy got released from prison. He came looking for his daughter today. He said, I know y'all been shacking up here in the most unreputable way. And I told him, sir, I ain't seen your daughter now on 2 years of my life. He loaded up his pistol and I thanked sweet Jesus that I never made his daughter my wife, and that's God's own truth. And I said, ain't that a barrel up motherfuckers, and ain't that a kick to the head? My country loving woman went and left me for another, left me wishing that I was dead. It took 15 years of rambling, get that lady out of my head. So ain't that a barrel of motherfuckers, and ain't that a kick to the head?
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Jonny Moze, everybody. The great Jonny Moze. The Goods from the Woods was mixed, edited, and distributed by me, Rivers Langley. You can find the show on Twitter @TheGoodsPod. Our theme song was composed by DJ Smiles. Check him out on Twitter @DJ Smiles.